Hey Brian, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Paul. How are you?
All right, it's very quiet here at the ACE floor, but by tomorrow it's going to be crazy, isn't it?
Calm before the storm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's good you guys got all set up. Um, Let me ask you a question. What's your role with AQS here in the United States?
Yeah, great question. So I'm the VP of Sales for North America. So that basically just means my responsibility is to grow our business, get our technology in front of customers, and show them why our solution's the best.
And were you the first, like, permanent employee in the United States?
Yeah. Yep. So I was actually the first U.S.-based salesperson. Prior to that, we would send folks over from Israel, spend a few weeks here, and then go back. I've been, in the industry for a long time, so I had a lot of connections. So going great so far.
And what's your background in the water industry?
So 25 years, started when I was 14, so I'm 39 now. So most of that time was spent with Mueller and with Itron, metering, leak detection, AMI, AMR.
Okay, well that's it's good background for this kind of work for sure. You're giving a presentation this week at ACE. What's the focus?
Yeah, so I'm excited. So the focus is return on investment with leak detection. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go now, but with, ever since COVID, with costs rising, with labor costs and labor shortages, it's a really important topic that people are focused on.
So what are some of the variables and parameters that a utility must analyze to be able to accurately come up with a return on investment?
Sure, no, that's another very good question. So, return on investment, the form itself is always one of those things where you try to get it locked in as much as possible, but there's always some margin of, fudge factor, we'll call it. But we really think that we've done a nice job of including all those things. So some of the main ones, of course, are sensor cost, how many leaks somebody might have in a year, energy costs, labor costs, things like that, the obvious ones. And then we've also included some other ones in there that I think will sort of round it all out.
That's interesting. There's a lot of parameters that go into that calculation. It's not that simple.
For sure. It is definitely not simple.
So what makes AQS different from other leak detection services?
Yeah, there's some really good, strong competitors in our industry. Competition's good, but we really think we're doing some unique things in our industry. Number one, the fact that we can be mounted external to a fire hydrant. We really think that's a nice advantage that utilities are looking for. It really gives them ease of installation, gives them a lot of flexibility, and then also the fact that we require less sensors per mile of pipe. That really comes into play when you're looking at the overall cost of ROI.
So can you give me an example of a project where you realized a really attractive return on investment?
Most definitely. And I'd be remiss if I had one more thing I wanted to throw in there. What do we do well? Human as a service. So I believe you spoke to Tamar earlier. That's one thing that I typically lead with. Most people lead with their hardware. I first lead with the fact that, hey, we're going to sell you a solution that's going to fit your needs, but once it's installed, what happens then? And that's where the real fun begins. I really think that's our key differentiator, and we do that better than our competitors, that after-sales support. And to answer your last question, so an example, we did a project with Albany, New York, who they were interested in finding, they have a very high unaccounted for water loss rate. So we put 20 sensors in, and to date, we found close to 40 million gallons in unaccounted for water savings for them. And so far, so good. It's gone very well.
Wow, that's great. And what day are you speaking?
So our presentation is on Wednesday at 11 a.m. So looking forward to that and hope to get a good turnout there.
Oh, that's good. That's a good day. You're not the last day, and you're not early in the morning, you're not late in the afternoon. So
this
that's
is very
good.
true.
Great. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for
talking.
talking.
All right. Great to see you again, Paul.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.